I want to address what is probably the most difficult thing to address as the leader of this college, and that is when we face the loss of one of our colleagues. For those of you who knew Randall Eiermann, you knew a smart, loyal, hardworking, good person, and he was such that after he spent his first tenure at our college, he left to take a job in another employer, and when he wasn't as happy there as he thought he was at Henry Ford College, we snatched him back up and we brought him back. And in my short time here as your president, I gained a fond friendship for him. In fact, he was the person that his boss, and Randall worked in the IT department, and his boss selected him to greet me on my first day, to make sure that the IT equipment was working. And I remember meeting him, and if you knew Randall, you saw a big smile. He was kind of a slight man who had a smile that seemed to go literally from ear to ear, and he was nervous. And I'll be candid, so was I. And he was in my office. Kathy, it must have been at least half the day that day. And it was just a really nice opportunity to get to know someone. I learned about his son Eli. I learned about the trip that he planned to take with Eli that next summer. And then after he left, I watched as whenever there was a problem with any internet or technical equipment, Kathy would always call on Randall. And I tend to try to be relatively perceptive, and I learned that she did that on purpose. And it wasn't because there wasn't people in that department that could solve the needs that she had. It was that she came to trust that Randall would do it most quickly and most correctly. And I'll tell you, since he's passed, I've learned that he must have been running around the campus quite a bit, because that was his reputation with everybody. And I'll tell you, without getting into personal details, that he fell ill and went to the hospital and was rather quickly and surprisingly in a place where we knew we were going to lose our friend and colleague. And over the last month, that's now happened. Randall was a teammate, and he lived that out. And I've tried hard to foster a culture here that supports that. And the way you honor a teammate when they do good work or when they leave your service is to think about them, say what you cared about. And this board is not a religious body, but in honor of Randall, I would ask that we would slow our minds and thoughts and think about him for a minute. And I'd ask you, Madam Chair, if we could do that now.
Yes, a moment of silence, please.
So, for those of you that are interested in Randall and his family, we've kept his son and wife both work at the institution. We've kept in contact with them and are supporting them, and as soon as we know funeral service information, I'll report that to the board and the college.
Was he able to take the trip that he had planned with?
Yeah, they went to the Grand Canyon, and I met with his son 2 weeks ago, and his son was doing about as well as he could, but he still talked about that trip and how his dad was a force of strength for him in his life. And yeah, they took that trip, and I don't know if Julie went with them. Do you know, Kathy? Yes.